Today, here at Decisions, we're going to be focusing on analyst insights around adopting a digital decisioning platform. Today, we've got our friends from Quadrant Knowledge Solutions joining us. My name is Danny Torbett, to be exact. I'm the Analyst Relations Manager for Decisions. What does that mean? I'm the guy that gets to spend time with Apurva and Kunal and other analysts to educate them about the Decisions platform and get their down low and skinny on the things that are happening in the market. So we're really pleased to have both of them join us here today. But before we get into that, you know me, there's going to be plugs. Submerse is coming up, one of our 3-day live training events. If you've never been, these are amazing opportunities to get together and learn more about decisions. We bring our prospects and our customers, and we put them in a room with our founders and developers and architects and engineers, and we do some training in the platform. We have a foundations class for people that are new to the platform, as well as a master class for folks that have been around for a while. We talk about really interesting use cases that come up in the business all the time with our really broad base of customers, especially ones that are centric to AI, as that's the hot topic these days. So join us if you're able. April 23rd through the 25th, we're going to be in Hyderabad. May 14th through the 16th, we're going to be here in Decisions headquarters, Virginia Beach, Virginia, where it is raining cats and dogs today. As well as May 28th through the 30th, we're going to be in Stockholm. Wow, I hope I get that one. That sounds awesome. So go to decisions.com/events and sign up for one of our events. They really are amazing experiences. We make them fun. Before we jump in, you don't need to wait. If you have a question about decisions or about the study that our friends from Quadrant are about to share with you, please just pop it into chat. We've got a bunch of folks on from Decisions here to answer those questions in live time. Here's a quick recap of the agenda that we're going to go through today. We're going to talk a little bit about, hey, what is Decisions? Give you a brief overview of the platform, and then discuss the vendor analysis and competitive positioning of where Quadrant Knowledge Solutions sees us in this market space and what makes us special. And then follow that up with some recommendations around adopting a digital decisioning platform if you're contemplating that right now. Oh, hey, I see Nilesh is from Chicago, right on. Go Cubs. All right. Decisions is a no-code software development platform. These are the elements that you find in the platform. We give you a no-code way to build any enterprise automation for your business, to automate anything in the business. The first element is the one that we're focusing on today, and that's our rules engine. It's enterprise class. It's capable of millions of transactions a day across things like medical claims processing, insurance underwriting, mortgage underwriting, anything that requires a human in the loop approval in your business can be handled by our rules engine. And the great thing about our rules engine is it doesn't require any code. As long as you can write a sentence in natural language or fill out a spreadsheet, you're fully qualified to build the logic, no matter how complex, for any enterprise application. The second element is our workflow manager. If you're familiar with platforms like Visio or Lucidchart, it's a very similar build experience. Get the Windows toolbar across the top, but the real magic is in the toolbox on the left-hand side of our Designer Studio. That's where we've built over 5,000 custom code steps that a user simply drags and drops onto a canvas and links those objects together to build applications. It's self-validating, coaching you as you're going along, and you can debug those applications right there in the same studio because there's no code to compile and ship off to a test bed. The fourth element is process mining. By analyzing log data, we give you the tools to identify bottlenecks in a process or the least expected user behavior in an application, so you can continually refine and optimize things that you build. The fourth element is our open API layer. Decisions connects to anything. It's an open API platform, talks to all modern software platforms. But in addition to that, we come with 70 pre-built modules for the most common business applications. Things like SAP, Salesforce, Office 365, all of the different systems that you're using across your enterprise right now. And then finally, we give you an interface designer to build unique customer and user experiences and interfaces through things like web pages, dashboards, portals, reports, things like that. These are the three main automation patterns where we really shine. The first one that we're focusing on today is our business rules capability. Our rules engine gives you a place to centralize business logic and then expose that logic to business users to edit and maintain using graphical design tools without writing any code. It gets the logic out of stored procedures, web pages, custom code, or your team's head, and puts it in a central location that you can easily maintain and edit without writing any code. Like I said, it's capable of millions of transactions a day across thousands of rules in areas like medical claims processing, insurance underwriting, things like that. The next use case is what we call extend and expand. It's really common when we work with a customer that they already have some major out-of-the-box projects that need to be part of their automation solution. Now, that could be CRM systems like Salesforce, ERPs like SAP, databases, or other products that are built to handle a specific part of that process. We're designed to integrate with all of these existing out-of-the-box solutions and then automate the special processes that those applications don't do well, things like human-in-the-loop approval processes. We have several different ways to integrate with your existing systems in your enterprise. You know, the out-of-the-box integrations that I mentioned, and the fact that it's an open API platform. But if you're thinking right now about a specific platform in your enterprise and our ability to integrate with it, pop it into chat and I'll get you an answer in real time. Taking the second step a little bit further, we often act as an orchestration layer between different applications. So if you have several applications that you have users and data in, you can use decisions as a middleware to bring all that data together from one application to trigger an activity for a user in another application and populate an outcome in yet another. Our most common use case is to act as an orchestration layer between various software applications or services, and then engage those end users in workflows that cross those application boundaries. Thanks for being patient during the salesy part of our discussion today. Nobody likes hearing me drone on about how great we are. So you're lucky today I brought some other people to drone on about how great we are. If any of what I said interested you in any way, reach out to us at sales@decisions.com and talk to one of our sales engineers and see if this platform can make an impact on your business. Even if you want, you can just pop into chat that you'd like to see it. And yes, absolutely, Nilesh, we're going to post a video of this webinar on our events page for sure. So thanks again for your patience. Why are we here today? We're here to talk about the Quadrant Knowledge Solutions Sparks Matrix for digital decisioning platforms that was released in 2023. Quadrant Knowledge Solutions is a global advisory and consulting firm focused on helping clients in achieving business transformation goals with strategic business and growth advisory services. The Sparks Matrix provides a snapshot of the market positioning of the key market participants and provides a visual representation of market participants and provides strategic insights on how each supplier ranks against their competitors with various performance parameters based on the category of technology in excellence and customer impact. And we were ranked as a leader in the study in 2023. So I wanted to bring on Apurva and Kunal to the conversation today. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi all, good afternoon. My name is Kunal and I'm here along with Apurva and Arun. We are a part of the business process management and process automation domain here at Quadrant Solutions. So before we delve into digital district platforms, it's something we have been researching for the past year and a half, and or I think more than that. And after gathering a lot of primary and secondary data, we decided to launch a full-fledged research study along with the Spark metrics. So today I'll be talking about the digital district platforms, the capabilities, the need for digital district platforms, and uh, the why Decisions is a leader and the Spark metrics. So Danny, move to the next slide. Thank you. So we at the Quadrant Knowledge Solutions define digital district platforms as software solutions or a suite that uses data-driven and rule-based techniques to automate decision-making processes within an organizations. And this platform uses advanced analytics, machine learning, and business roles to analyze data from various sources and produce insights or automatically suggest or carry out decisions across numerous business channels and functions. And this numerous channels and business functions include operations, business management, marketing, customer supports. Also, DDPs have the ability, DDPs, digital distribution platforms have the ability to ingest a large amount of data in the real time and allowing organization to respond uh, instantaneously to the dynamic changes in the environment, which are based on the predefined rules and the models. And I would like to add these platforms can be seamlessly integrated with other applications and systems, such as marketing automation platforms, CRM system, data warehouses, order storage solutions, and databases. And next slide, Derek.
Sorry, there we go.
Thank you. So why there is an absolute need for digital distribution platforms in the today's environment, like previously everything has to be manual. And nowadays with the advent of artificial intelligence and advanced machine learning algorithms, your decision making capability has significantly improved. And instead of talking about all these points separately, I'll cover this in the single monologue. So nowadays your decision making processes are no longer bogged down by the manual tasks, and previously where efficiency and consistency were never a consideration. Comes digital district platforms as they can automate and streamline these processes. They were once manual, and thereby improving the efficiency and consistency across organizations. But DDPs are not just about making decisions easier; they're actually crucial for organizations looking to embark on customer-focused digital transformation. So thereby leveraging digital platforms, organizations not only gain valuable insights from the data which are ingested by the DDPs, obviously, but also put those insights into actions, driving maximum utility and the tangible business outcomes. So what exactly does digital platforms do and how they functions? Well, they empower organizations to implement this powerful digital services and applications. And majority of these DDP platforms offer drag and drop auditors, which allows organization to easily create decision trees, define business rules, and even incorporate machine learning models wherever it makes sense. So what this happens, it gives more autonomy to the business users, and it increases their ability to adapt to the AI-driven decision making according to their specific needs. Uh, one of the benefits I like to mention here is the ability to the real-time analysis. Since our environments are changing very consistently, so every decision counts, and having the timely insights is very crucial. And these platforms provide users with the access to the vast data sets, allowing them to make a very well-informed decisions quickly and effectively. Another key trend, which is not mentioned here, is the end-to-end automation, which is absolute game changer. And previously, where there was a manual input, But by eliminating the manual input, digital decisioning platforms ensure a more reliable and the consistent decision making. So this not only improves efficiency but also leads to the cost saving for organizations. Uh, it also has the power. The digital decision platforms has the power to analyze data, to identify the potential risks, and to forecast the outcomes. This enhances the risk management efforts. And not only that, it also enables organizations to take proactive measures to mitigate the research risk before they become the problems. And lastly, I'd like to iterate about the customer impact it has. The digital decision platforms enable organizations to personalize the consumer experience, whether it is through target marketing or the tailored product recommendations. So this ultimately leads to the increased customer satisfaction, loyalty, and they're driving the long-term success. So the landscape of decision making is revolutionized by the digital decision platforms as they offer organizations with the opportunities to optimize processes, efficiency, and ultimately driving successful outcomes. So, whether you are a small organizations or the large corporations, TDPs could be the key to staying ahead in the today's digital age. So, I'd say there's an absolute need for digital listening platforms if you want to have a strategic imperative as compared to your competitors. That's it. Then we can move to the next slide, or if you'd like to add something.
No, I completely agree. When we look, especially across a lot of our financial customers, our customers that are in the healthcare space, that their daily operations or the things that they're trying to automate have lots of complex logic. And a lot of that logic captured in stored procedures or standard operating procedures, or even just the team's head, right? The ability to optimize those processes becomes limited if it's not centralized and managed in a DDP. So I couldn't agree more.
Nice. So next, I'll be talking about the capabilities, and these are the capabilities which, during our research, we found out are the most common among all the vendors. And I think these are the critical capabilities that make decision platforms a very robust platforms. The offerings could vary from vendors to vendors, and the interface could vary upon vendors to vendors, but these capabilities remain the same with additional offerings otherwise. So first one, I'll be talking about the rules engine. Danny has also mentioned about the rules engine. So I'll be talking about how it works basically. So rules engines allow non-technical users to basically set up and modify business rules without diving into the complex code. That's what rules engine does. It gathers all your business logic in one place, makes it easier to understand and manage. And you can also visualize your rules using flowchart and decision tables. And once they are verified, they can be automated within an application or accessed as web services for various processes. And so this is what basically the rules engine does. Uh, Obviously, the rules engine that decision provider has enterprise scale capabilities, and it can manage lots of rules and logics in one place. Next would be the low code and the no code authoring. And I cannot emphasize enough as to why the low code and no code are such a trend nowadays. The trend is to empower the citizen developers, and you want your applications into the market as soon as possible. And with the low code and no code platforms, these are possible and to grab as much market share as possible. And with low code and no code platform, anyone can design workflows, define business rules, and create user interface using simple drag and drop and point and click tools. Basically, this digital listening platforms also provide access to the pre-built templates, thereby allowing users to deploy and build applications quickly and efficiently. So yes, and next I'll be talking about the workflow manager, also previously mentioned by Danny. So workflow manager streamline operations from the simple approvals to the complex data manipulations, and it does it with a graphical interface for processes and managing outcomes. And it also allows users to define and oversee the routine activities associated with the business process, thereby enhancing the efficiency and the control. Next up is model management. So models are something which vary from users to users. It basically ensures the smooth handling of changes and facilitates the collaboration among tools. It takes full controls of changes and enables versionings and collaboration at scale. So, what model management does, it intends to serve applications that require a lot of metadata. And this metadata includes such as database design, data integration, and warehousing. And model management offers the necessary tools that are required for versioning and collaboration to the deployment of release into the different environment and monitoring their execution, right? And next is the digital analytics, and I think it is one of the major components of digital listening platforms, as it constitutes the identification and evaluation of every facet of decisions, along with the action-based choices that the users make, and that results in the best outcomes. So the decision analyst models are employed when employed in the digital listening platforms. It evaluates the favorability of the outcomes. Obviously, advanced algorithm, data analytics, and digital models are used to analyze the relevant data and evaluate the prospective outputs. And it offers suggestions to users and predictions to assist in the decision making. Next is the omni-channel. Another trend we are seeing in every platform or technology there is, as it is very crucial for organizations to connect with customers across various channels, like web, social media, mobile, and more. So omni-channel support not only ensures the consistency in decision making and consultant side, but it also allow organization to integrate this multiple communication channels to provide a seamless customer experience. And omni-channel approach is gaining popularity as it allow organizations to engage customers on their preferred channels and allowing them to offer a personalized experiences and on-demand services from any devices. Next thing I think is the maturity of AI/ML. And once again, I cannot emphasize enough what AI/ML is doing for the organizations. Once we thought these technologies are stagnant, the maturity of AI/ML is like a breath of fresh air to them. So majority of the leading vendors are incorporating AI/ML and workflow automation to enhance the evolution of their data asset qualities, identify missing values and provide AI-driven planning recommendations. This technology is significantly will do, it reduces the manual efforts and minimizes the complexities as well as the time required by the data quality experts and data scientists. As the landscape of AI was previously different before. The algorithms have become very more sophisticated. And once the algorithm gets the nuances of the data, the advent of the deep learning has unlocked new possibilities. So it's not just that the algorithms are matured. Our approach to looking at the digital DC platform has undergone a transformation as well. So, uh, and today, when the digital DC platform is the bedrock upon which the countless industries rely on, from finance to healthcare to manufacturing to marketing, artificial intelligence and machine learning are driving efficiencies, optimizing processes, and delivering insights that were previously not possible for humans to imagine. So I will summarize the capabilities part for digital leasing platforms as simplifying rule settings, automating workflows, facilitating collaborations, and ensuring a consistent customer experience across all channels is very necessary. And it is absolutely important that these platforms can lead to, well, we have seen that these platforms can lead to increased efficiency, better decision making, and enhance customer satisfactions. So this is how I summarize the capabilities part. Danny, next slide.
Yeah, actually, I wanted to just kind of chime in on the AI piece. We're currently, since we released our OpenAI module Q2 of last year, we've had customers coming to us with all sorts of different requests for different use cases. And currently, we're leveraging AI, specifically OpenAI, for the things that it's great at right now, right? Extracting data from different data sources and then pulling those into our DDP to run against rules, right? But we clearly see that the future of AI and in regards to DDP is conversational AI-based rule creation, to where a user will come in and they'll fill out a prompt. I need a rule to do this. I need a rule to do that. And then it will provide several generative choices that can be tailored to fit each individual use case. So just kind of a sneak peek as to our roadmap and vision for AI and ML in regards to DDP. Thanks for letting me get that in there.
Great. Thanks, Kunal. I think a pretty well-established thought leadership from the side of Quadrant. So like Danny started his speech talking about decisions, I'll take a few seconds and just introduce what the thing that we are seeing on the screen is, because there will be people who might not have seen it. What you're seeing on the screen, guys, is that it's a Spark matrix quadrant, right? It's basically a graph of X versus Y axis, obviously, technology excellence on the X side or the X axis and customer impact on the Y axis, right? It's divided into the aspirants, strong contenders, and technology leaders. And I think it's pretty obvious that in the blue patch is where the meaty content actually unfolds, right? And case in point, if you see decisions, it's very sweetly placed at a very comfortable position there, right? So that's just to start with. I just want to put some things into context before I dive deeper into the kind of offerings that Decisions has, right? So it's pretty obvious that Decisions is placed amongst the leaders. There are guys like IBM, there is SAS, Eco, Decisions, Experience, Actico, and many others, right? And one important thing to note here is that we at Quadrant Knowledge Solutions and the BPM and process automation domain, after almost a decade plus of research in this entire domain, we were almost compelled with the kind of research that we had across studies like RPA, process mining, business process management, business process automation, task mining, and many others, right? There came a time when we were compelled to start this study, digital decisioning platforms, last year officially as a quadrant. Obviously, Decisions had to feature in it. And just to put things in context, if you see the positioning of Decisions vis-a-vis the players, there's not much of a difference, right? Now, I just was having a conversation with Danny before the call, and I think the employee strength of Decisions, Danny, correct me if I'm wrong, it's around 250, 300, right?
Yes, sir, you're correct.
Yeah, and just now, I just want the viewers to take a moment and let this info sink, because less than 300, sub 300 employee strength, and look where Decisions is faring in terms of its technology excellence, right? It's just marginally to the left side of IBM, and mind you, this is a competitive but relative positioning matrix, so there's not really much of a difference on paper in our internal analysis, right? So against an MNC, one of the biggest in the globes like IBM, and yet if Decisions is able to establish itself as a niche and a very strong player in terms of its technical capabilities, I think it speaks a lot about the kind of impact that Decisions is generating, right? I just wanted to establish this note and take our conversation from that point onwards, right? So I think so far Decisions is doing genuinely a very commendable job. This is just the first matrix, the so-called official matrix that we are doing, although the research is being carried out for a long time. And as we speak, just wanted to set the context for the coming year in 2024 as well. Our preparations for DDP study have already been started, so we are super excited and expecting that Decisions, supersedes its current position. So that was just a base setting before we move on to the next slides.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
Danny.
Thanks so much for the context there. I will say, right, IBM does have about 100,000 employees, but I also need to say that IBM ODM rules engine costs about 5 times as much as decisions too. So thanks for letting me get that in there.
Yeah, yeah. Most welcome. Yeah, so I think we are down directly to the meaty business. What makes decisions and leaders, right? Kunal threw a lot of light on the thought leadership, but I think I'll not repeat all the thought leadership capabilities that Kunal dived into. I'll just straightly dive into the capabilities and the things that are setting apart, right? Obviously, the rules engines for decisions that we studied through our primary and secondary data. Obviously, it's absolutely intricately designed. It's built for the enterprise scale. The logic itself is for the enterprise scale as well. Uh, Almost and definitely capable of handling billions of rules, billions of edits, and it's presumed to also. I mean, it's obviously doing well on the high availability setups as well, right? Kunal mentioned workflow manager as another important capability. Obviously, it is. And what decisions workflow manager does is, I think it helps refine the sequences. It helps create them. Obviously, it helps manage those workflows really well in a very lucid fashion. What it does is it basically enhances the collaboration between the processes. It helps streamline the operations, obviously, uh, across industries, across verticals. The efficiency is driven through the roof, including, just to take a small example, something like the mortgage broker business as well, right? Third point, process mining. I think at Quadrant Knowledge Solutions, one of the hot and topics of debate is that process mining. Some of us say that process mining, it's evolving into something else. We are moving towards process excellence, and that's altogether a different story. But the emphasis on process mining can never die, right? And I think what decisions process mining is doing, it helps visualize, digest, and log the complex processes and all the data logs that are relevant to it, just making sure that abstraction of the problems, abstraction of the processes is absolutely on point, uh, and it provides clear and lucid opportunities, for maximizing the ROI, because I think that is what all of us are really focusing on, right?
Absolutely. And let me make a quick point there too. So far as our process mining capability, we also give you the ability to assign SLAs and values to processes and tasks, right? So we give you the tools by being able to add things like time or labor costs or actual numbers to those things to ascertain how much inefficiency is costing you, and then predict what the ROI would be on fixing that problem or streamlining that. So it also often helps in building initiatives to get buy-in for making those changes. Great point. Sorry to interrupt.
No problem, Danny. I think when we talk about digital decisioning platforms, the key here is how the processes are communicating with each other. What kind of decisions are taking? Are they being taken at the right time, right? And I think for that, what is really required is robust integrations that help connect, invisibly across the current infrastructure throughout the entire architecture, right? And what decisions is really doing well, I think it's seamlessly, effectively, and lucidly interacting with various data sources, various systems by using REST API services. I think someone in the chat, probably Nilesh, mentioned REST API services, and Danny rightly pointed that out. So I think that point connects here as well. What is happening because of these integrations is ultimately, organizations can definitely not only plan their current investments, but also can project their future investments, and obviously create a cohesive environment of interconnectedness, right? Uh, if you're talking about integrations, we need to talk about the kind of designers, that are being taken into consideration. Because if there are robust designers, then obviously a seamless integration can further be achieved, right? What they're actually doing is, a full integration with the designers are actually, trying to connect the rules engine and the workflow manager, and it is empowering, the infusion of automation and initiating all kinds of actions on a very effortless level. One last point and something very close to my heart because I am a student of RPA for practically a decade or so. And in RPA, we often, or in automation, we often coin the terminology design studio, right? Uh, Decisions design studio, I think it's an absolutely out and out end to end suite of capabilities. It empowers the users for streamlining, designing, and making sure that the interactions between the processes is on point. uh, from the perspective of interactions, I'll also use the word orchestration, another favorite terminologies of mine. Uh, in context of decisions, I think what it does really well is it seamlessly orchestrates different kinds of workflows across the processes through the workflow designer. And what it does is actually not just streamline the processes, but designing and managing the life cycle, end-to-end life cycle, can also happen in a very robust manner. So those were some of the few points that makes decision definitely stand out as a leader. Yes, Danny. Wow, future trends. I think I could go on and on about the trends, but let's throw some quick light on some of these trends. Uh, some trends, I think they have been beaten to the bush, but we need to understand them, especially in the context of DDP, right? Uh, Something like shifting to the SaaS and cloud deployment. I think it has been talked about across the BPM and process automation domain and beyond as well, right? In the context of digital decisioning platforms, what it is doing is it is giving the enterprises unparalleled flexibility and scalability. I think one important component of this change is, the use of web-enabled design studios that we already mentioned. Additionally, what is happening is, the shift to SaaS and cloud deployment. It actually is enabling the customers to provide a customized client self-service configurable products. It is also allowing the enterprises for building digital decisioning platforms based on their own needs. That is in terms of the customization, right? This change that is happening, it's actually allowing the end users of taking charge of their own digital decisioning platforms or systems, making changes, setting up the required configurable IT support as and when that is required, right? Another thing that comes to my mind is something that we often hear nowadays is cloud containerization, right? So, as we all know, cloud containerization obviously it encapsulates the decisioning logic, the models, and the algorithms in portable containers, right? In the context of digital decisioning platforms, I think if they go towards this trend, then the organizations may be achieving a more cost effective and efficient deployment of their systems, assuring optimal performance and resource utilization, acting across the heterogeneous architecture, right? Uh, a trend
And
that
those and containers and multi-tenancy are both supported in the decisions platform. We absolutely agree in the cost efficiencies that could be realized by customers by employing containers.
absolutely, Danny. I think that's a very relevant point. Uh, Rise of AI, ML, and analytics driven decisioning. I think Kunal threw a lot of light on that. I just sum it up really quickly from a trend perspective, right? Uh, in case this trend is focused on by vendors and by end users alike, I think using the AI powered user experiences, it definitely improves the accuracy and the efficiency of the digital decisioning platforms and the relevant preferences. Now, what actually happens here is that they are the digital listening platforms. They are at the cusp of reinventing certain use cases like underwriting and the bureau data and whatnot, like Danny mentioned. And I think by combining the visual data mapping, the related transformations, and the AI powered user experiences as well, I think vendors could be on the cusp of ushering a new era, so to speak, in informed, responsive, and customized decision making. So I think can't stress enough on the point of AI and ML, right? Uh, Moving forward, I think another thing that comes to mind is something like diverse data sources and data management. I think when you're talking about orchestration, when you're talking about systems interacting with each other, when you're talking about having a common platform like digital decisioning platforms, to be kind of the brain of the entire enterprise, so to speak. I think having an excellent data management, data fabric, and interactions with the data sources, I think that can't be stressed enough, right? It goes without saying that decision platforms, which do have the capacity of collecting, analyzing, segregating data in real time, they definitely can offer much enhanced and nuanced decisions, adhering to or helping the decision makers process the current information, acting on that information on a very decisive level, right? This especially helps in because real life scenarios, they are always dynamic, right? So in dynamic settings, in critical situations, to mitigate the changing circumstances, I think this quality really helps the decision makers, right? Uh, Also, one must not forget that in the current times, I think there is a plethora of data sources that are available, and it's important to understand that we operate in a system which is data agnostic in nature. The architecture is more or less data agnostic, wherein the platform should be able to ingest, process, and analyze the data uh, in a very lucid format, right? Uh, I think another important point that I really want to touch upon, again, Gen AI, an often used, overused terminology, so to speak, in the current context, right? But the way Quadrant Knowledge Solutions looks at Gen AI in the context of digital listening platforms, we believe that Gen AI's impact is spanning the entire spectrum of, nuanced and precise data-driven decision making, right? From providing tangible mockups right up to expediting and developing detailed analysis on processes. I think the touch points for Gen AI, they are almost limitless. So we believe that incorporating generative AI into the business analytics, into digital decisioning platforms, it would definitely provide amplification of the entire spectrum of functions, which could range from data ingestion, all the things that we mentioned, something like analysis, something like reporting, something like testing, and what it will do in short, it will basically try to bolster the efficiency of data-centric tasks. It would contribute to extremely agile, swift, and customized decision making. So I think integration of generative AI can't stress enough on that point. And we're coming to the last thing, modern API centricity. Again, there is a lot of confusion about what modern API centricity is. People say that systems are still not completely driven towards API centricity. But I think we at Quadrant Knowledge Solution, we feel that it's as simple as that. As the use of APIs grows, the complexity of the API ecosystem, obviously it increases, right? So a typical modern API architecture, it obviously has several layers that the developers, they need to work through and work together for creating a comprehensive API system, which supports variety of API deployment and consumption. In this context, I think it's very imperative that such an API system should be designed with all the security and related aspects in mind, that prevent all kinds of unauthorized access, protect sensitive data, and against any potential security threats, right? And in that context, I think since digital decisioning platforms, I'll take you back to the word of orchestration. If you want them to act as the brain, if you want them to act as the central platform, I think modern API centricity, obviously, it does hold a crucial key in that aspect. Yes, Danny, that's it for this slide.
Gotcha. Great points.
So I think these are the meaty points, especially for anyone who is probably, let's say, the end user or people who want to decide on, deciding which vendor to go for, which digital decisioning platform to go for, or basically what all things should be looked into for a so-called ideal digital decisioning platform, which solves majority or all of your problems, right? Let's start sequentially, and let's. I know we are running out of time, so I'll be really quick about it, right? Something like tracking and tracing the life cycles, right? This option, if the users of it, if the users opt for this option, or if vendors are actively working on this, It'll obviously help in tracking, the missing steps, the missing processes, the missing events, so that the intended result can be met, right? Users should
Mhm.
obviously look for vendors which have the capability of missing those events, such as the orders that go through innumerable phases, just before they are filled in the context of an event-driven or rules-based method. Danny, you were saying something here?
No, no, I was just nodding my head in agreement. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, yeah. So we go forward to something like an advanced query engine, right? Which obviously enables users for modifying and accessing the databases, right? Uh, an advanced query engine, it obviously helps in handling the difficult queries, and it offers sophisticated search features across the plethora of databases, right? Users should obviously be looking for the query engines which are, you know, which are allowing the users for orchestrating a very precise data strategy while also eliminating the significant challenges which they might be facing on the way. Uh, Intelligent data wrangling, right? I mean, users should obviously be looking for vendors which are providing a streamlined and automated data preparation process. It should be ensured that these capabilities are blending in with something like AI and ML and also NLP, along with the traditional data wrangling processes, right?
Mhm.
Uh, we move forward to process orchestration. I think a very interesting and a topic that holds my personal attention a lot, right? It should be noted that digital listening platforms should obviously have moving parts. I mean, they obviously interact with the moving parts or the business processes. And these will be only coordinated by something called as process orchestration, right? So users should ensure that the vendor's capability for orchestrating the business processes within the workflow management systems or within the decision making should be highly nuanced and highly specific in the context of the existing tools and infrastructure, right? Real-time analytics. I think this point was already touched upon previously by Kunal. So I'll just sum it up by saying that obviously the platforms which are offering a real-time view of the data for addressing the operational issues, for addressing the customer issues, for addressing the potential customer issues, should be looked into through the window of real-time analytics, right? Something like data virtualization. Now, since we have talked a lot about having a robust pipeline of data fabric, having robust data management capabilities, it is imperative to understand that, first of all, as we all know, data virtualization is basically the approach of data management wherein there is lucid manipulation and retrieval of data based on the current technical information that is available, right? So, what basically users should be trying to do is that, in case data virtualization of a nuanced category is offered, then users can create a secure layer. It can provide them an enhanced data security and governance, and it will also lead to reduced investments, as the virtualization would be requiring fewer resources, compared to segregated, separate consolidated data stores that would be in picture, right? And to sum up all these points, I think what if analysis, again, extremely important, right? What if analysis is basically the capability for evaluating the impact of the company's strategy in relation to the industrial benchmark, right? So by testing and evaluating multiple scenarios, the company can always and possibly avoid all kinds of risks by understanding the impact of its actions on the capital resources, right? What it actually will do is this activity will try to enable the project review and optimization as per the requirement in order to ensure that the organization's objectives are sufficiently fulfilled, right? So, Danny, I just wanted to add one thing here. All the
Sure.
recommendations that we tried to encompass in these bullet points on what all capabilities or highlighting differentiators or USPs the end user should be looking for in an ideal digital decisioning platform in order to extract maximum output from it. I think once we established our thought leadership and once we compared with the kind of offerings that were being offered by decisions,
Mhm.
we realized a very pertinent thing that decisions is fitting parallelly very much well in line with the kind of research that we are doing. And I think anything that comes to our mind, right? Intelligent data wrangling, process orchestration, tracking and tracing the lifetime, real-time analytics and whatnot. I think all these things, the kind of offerings that are offered by Decisions, I think they are almost at par with the kind of thought leadership that we are trying to promote. So just wanted to highlight that point in the end as well.
That's great. You heard it, everybody. It's not just Danny telling you how great Decisions is. Other people out in the world think so too, including our friends at Quadrant Knowledge Solutions. Guys, this has been great. Thanks so much for your time today. I really appreciate everyone who joined. Nilesh, I'm going to follow up with a copy of the video for you. And just a couple of quick plugs again. If any of this was mildly interesting to you, please reach out to us in chat or at sales@decisions.com and meet with one of our sales engineers and see what kind of an impact Decisions could make in your business. Our next webinar, if you're not sick of looking at me already, April 4th, we'll be covering automating support ticket analysis using ChatGPT and our OpenAI module. And you can get the white paper on the Smart Matrix Digital Decisioning Platforms 2023 on our website. Go to the bottom of the homepage. That's where we have all our analyst reports listed. Guys, thank you so much for joining today. It's been a real pleasure.
Thank you so much, Danny. Thanks, guys.
Absolutely. You guys have a great day. Thanks, everyone, for joining, and we'll see you again soon. April 4th, come check me out. Go to decisions.com/events to check out our next webinar. Thanks, everyone. Thank you so much.